He was fighting in the UFC while he was a full-on criminal.
I love that shit.
He was a part of the biggest bank robbery in like the history of Great Britain. Anderson Silva had his wife hold a pillow at home, so he wouldn't even practice it in front of his coach. You got to realize that division is super ultra competitive, right? Unless Jon Jones is in the mix, then it's not competitive.
Yeah.
Jon Jones dominates everybody.
And then in terms of entertainment value, though, I gotta put the Spider in there.
Oh yeah, Anderson in his prime.
Because he would win in ways where it looked like he would do like stuff you would see in a movie.
Yeah. Well, he did an upward elbow. You want to hear this crazy story? There's a crazy thing that he saw in like an Ong Bak movie where it's a step forward to the side, upward elbow. And he kept telling people that he was going to knock this dude out with an upward elbow. And his trainer was like, hey, man, you got to stop fucking around. Like, don't try to do stupid shit like that. Stick to the game plan. You're fighting a tough guy. And so he had his wife hold a pillow at home, so he wouldn't even practice it in front of his coach. So he would go home and have his wife hold a pillow, and Anderson would step in, blap, step in, and blap, and he's stepping in with this crazy elbow. And then he decided he was going to use it in the fight. Check this out. Watch this.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's how good Anderson Silva was.
What is his trainer saying after that?
Well, his trainer probably went, fuck. You know, you only see a guy like that once in a lifetime.
Fazia 100 cotoveladas dessa. E no dia da luta, até o meu treinador, que me treinava na época, o Diógenes, falou, porra, cara, não vai fazer isso, que isso aí não funciona. Isso aí não funciona, não funciona. Eu falei, cara, funciona. Não, não funciona. Não, não funciona. E acabou que funcionou, né?
Anderson Silva. We honestly need to start talking again about this guy as the GOAT. Anderson Silva beat Chavez Jr. at 40 what? 44, 45 now?
46.
46? 40 fucking 6 years old. He now left this sport, which he was, you know, considered one of the greatest of all time, possibly even the greatest of all time.
You know, Anderson in his prime, and he came into his prime in that organization too. That was an organization in England. Was that called Cage Warriors? Cage Rage. There's Cage Warriors is the new one. There's another organization like that that's like a top level organization in England. But in Cage Rage, he fought a lot of guys. And he fought Lee Murray, and that was a gigantic fight because Lee Murray was that crazy English hoodlum. The hoodlum who robbed the bank. You don't know the story? He was a part of the biggest bank robbery in like the history of Great Britain.
Oh, wow.
It's like some fucking Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels type shit. Like,
and they made a movie about it?
They made they're making a movie about it. Guy Ritchie is making a movie about Lee Murray. Okay. That's how wild this fucking dude is. He's still in jail right now. There's like, I think they stole like $80 million, something crazy like that. But these guys had like full-on tactical gear, fucking machine guns, like the whole thing. UFC fighter Lee Murray who robbed a bank for $90 million. Like,
wait a minute. So this was. Wait a minute. So he robbed the bank and was fighting in the UFC.
He was fighting in the UFC while he was a full-on criminal.
I love that shit.
I mean, a full-on criminal.
That's real outlaw. Like, how can you be? See, that's the kind of shit you were talking about.
Yes.
With Jon Jones.
Wildness.
Like, where it's like, this isn't enough. This is not enough adrenaline. Been in the UFC.
Well, go to the fight that he had with Anderson because everybody was scared of Lee Murray. Everybody was scared of Lee Murray. Anderson pieced him up, man. Anderson toyed with him. He played with his food.
This is not, and this is in the UFC?
No, this is in Cage Rage as well. But it was a tough fight because Lee Murray came for blood. And this was an Anderson when he was in his 20s. We got to realize, like, the Anderson that we got in the UFC, we didn't get him until he was like 33 or 34, I believe was his first fight.
Was he already past his prime when he got to the UFC?
No,
or
no, he was
riding
the very peak of his prime. But I think he came into his prime in Cage Rage rather, because in Cage Rage, he fought real tough guys, and there was a big organization in England, but most of the people in America did not know these fights were going on. And he's fighting guys like Jorge Rivera, he's fighting Lee Murray, he's fighting Tony Strickland, and I forget who else he fought in there. But dude, I'm telling you, Anderson could do it all. He could grapple, he was dangerous off of his back, he was comfortable everywhere. And Lee Murray was an animal. Go a little further in the fight, we see when Anderson starts destroying his legs. So somewhere towards the end of the fight, like the last round, Anderson's like just chewing on his legs. There it is. And he just did that over and over and over again, and Lee was in real trouble. Like, you get into a position like Lee's in right now where that left leg just doesn't work anymore.
Bruh, yeah, I'm sure you've gotten kicked in the leg. That shit is no joke.
Oh, it's horrible. And to have a guy like Anderson kick you in the leg, shit. And he's doing it right now, and he just used his Muay Thai. He was a Muay Thai wizard, a technical wizard. And just, again, these guys that are at the top of the heap, they're so creative, and they're so explosive, and they're so wild. Like, they could take these chances in the heat of a gunfight, and they find these openings. And Anderson used to find them in these spectacular highlight reel ways, like that front kick that he hit Vitor in the face with.
Yeah,
like, Jesus.
Always his highlight reel might be like the most entertaining of anyone. Right?
The knees to Rich Franklin, where he just broke his whole face.
And the closest thing we saw to that was when Jon Jones started doing that kind of shit.
Yes, in a different way. Jon was more. It was a lot of smashing people on the feet, but it was more the wrestling and the destruction once you get a hold of you, whether submissions or ground and pound.
Yeah, he very violent. Like, you could just feel the intentions were like, I'll crush your skull.
Yeah, that's how good Jon Jones is.
Yeah, I love watching him fight.
Bro, there's that division. You got to realize that division is super ultra competitive, right? Unless Jon Jones is in the mix, then it's not competitive.
Yeah,
Jon Jones dominates everybody.
You know, the type of people that, that's a scary motherfucker.
Does that sort of almost reinforce this idea that you could do anything you want, and then, man, imagine if I trained next time, if it's someone big, I'll train. Like,
yeah. So I have this, I'm going to share something with, I'm not sure if I've ever shared this with anyone else before, but I had this crazy thing that I would do where I would party 1 week before every fight. And I did it throughout my whole career. And this was stupid, but it was this mental crutch that I had. I literally would, 1 week before every fight, I would go out and I would get blacked out wasted. And my logic was, if this guy were to beat me somehow, I can look myself in the mirror and say that, well, I lost because I got hammered the week before the fight. So
it was a built-in safety net.
It was a safety net. Yeah, exactly. So I did it my whole career. I would go out and get hammered 1 week before every fight.
Have you ever worked with a sports psychologist?
No, but now I don't. My Oven St. Preux fight was the first fight that I did not do that. It was my worst performance. So
I don't think it was your worst performance. I think you were very unjustly criticized for that fight, because I think Oven St. Preux is a very tough guy. He's a very difficult fighter. He's very strong. He's got a brutal left kick.
Yeah.
He's athletic. He moves well.
I believe it was a good performance, but it was still my worst performance.
There's a lot of scary motherfuckers in the UFC, but they're nice people. Most of them are really nice.
Yeah,
you know, like,
those are the kind of people that you have to apologize to.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
But most of them, you know, they're just, this is what it is. I mean, it's an insane sport.